like Banks, his name will go up here because that's the first person it sounds like you dealt with.
Right.
And then it says additional employees, and you can put Fletcher down there.
Okay. Okay,
So
perfect.
is that form right there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm over here at CHP. I'm going to go ahead and do a follow-up with filing the complaints against those officers for that one day where they pulled me over and tried to violate my rights. So let's go in here and see what they can say or what they could do for me. So here we are at the CHP DMV here in San Andreas. Let's see what they have to say. Hello, I have a question. I need to get a couple of complaint forms for a couple of officers for an incident that happened a couple months back. I also need to speak with the highest in command because my rights were violated, as well as, excuse me, as well as threat of arrest.
Are you recording me?
I am right now, yes.
So, what's your name?
My name? Right at the moment, I'd rather not give that. So can I get a couple of complaint forms, and I need to speak with the highest in command, if not today, then soon?
Sure. You want to have a seat or stand right there?
Thank you. So she went and warned them that there's somebody in the lobby recording. Scary guy, huh? So they're talking back there right now. They want to know if they should just give me the complaint forms. Okay, perfect. Thank you. She asked him if he wanted to give me a complaint form to get rid of me, or if they wanted to come out and talk to me in person. So we'll see where that goes. Citizens complaint policy. Public Records Act requests. Interesting information to have.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, I'm Lieutenant Stewart. What can I do for you?
Hi, Lieutenant. So, I had an interaction with a couple of your officers a couple months back, and
Okay.
first of all, I asked for a supervisor. That supervisor was unable to give me any of the statutes, codes, violations, anything that I was actually doing wrong.
Okay.
But she also had me get out of the vehicle and threatened me with arrest.
Okay.
So, and that was just for not providing ID, because I feel like it was a retaliatory thing from Banks.
Okay.
Because Officer Banks had pulled us over before. I was a passenger, I wouldn't ID. So the next time he saw me, he pulled me over again to ID me as a driver.
Okay.
So he called in his supervisor, apparently that was Fletcher, and she didn't know any of the policies or anything that I was trying to tell her about. I was trying to explain to her.
Okay.
My job is just to make sure that my rights aren't being violated, and I tried to explain that to them, and she still told me to turn around. And I have video of the interaction. I've also got an entire caseload of paperwork that I'd like to go over with you, as well as the video. Anytime you would be available for that, that would be great. We don't have to do that today.
When did
but
all this happen?
I want to say it was in October, I believe it was.
Okay.
and it was just over here by the hospital.
Okay, what? So we're talking about 2 interactions?
We had one interaction with him less than a month before that, and I was
October?
I was a passenger in one of my workers' vehicles,
Okay.
and we got pulled over.
What did you guys get pulled over
It was a
for?
seatbelt violation,
okay.
and we had our seatbelt on. I'm not sure why he pulled us over. I felt
Okay.
like he was making up a reason to pull us over, and I wouldn't ID, and that seemed to bother him a little bit.
Okay.
And we went through that interaction. My worker was ticketed,
Okay.
and
So out of that interaction, at the end of the day, your coworker got a citation.
Correct.
And then you guys were sent on your way?
Correct.
Just so I'm understanding. Okay. And then about a month later was the other interaction?
within a month later, yes.
Okay. And then give me the Reader's Digest version of
Okay, so I made a legal turn here onto Mountain Ranch Road.
Okay.
And Officer Banks was heading that direction towards 49.
Okay.
He flipped the U-turn right in front of the person that was also turning onto the road right behind
You
me.
were turning off a side street?
I was turning off of 49
Okay.
onto Mountain Ranch Road right
Okay,
here.
So it's right down
So
here.
right at the three-way down here, yes. And he did an illegal U-turn right in front of the person that was right behind me.
Okay.
And then he wants to cite me and talk to me about a seatbelt violation when what he did was much more dangerous and more
So the
of a
reason for
crime.
that stop that you were told was a seatbelt
He
violation?
said he said I wasn't wearing my seatbelt when in fact I was wearing my seatbelt.
Okay.
And he pulled me over, and this got turned into this big old dilemma. And
So he pulls you over. Where'd you guys end up stopping?
that little gap right there between the housing and the hospital.
Hospital, okay.
Yeah.
So he
I
direct-
have all of it on video. I mean, I can show you both
You have it
interactions.
here, or is
I
it something-
do, and I would rather not stop recording, and I don't have my other camera with
Oh,
me.
I
So
see.
if we can set up a date where I can come in and explain what happened,
Okay.
and maybe we can go over some of the policing policies that were violated that day, as well as my rights, as well as the statutes that were stated, and where the violation I feel was.
Okay. So at the end of that interaction, what transpired? So you get pulled over for alleged seatbelt violation.
Correct.
You guys have some kind of dialogue, obviously.
Right. And
And-
I believe he gave me a ticket on that, but I haven't heard anything about that since.
Okay. So you potentially got a citation.
Correct.
For that. But you said you were placed in handcuffs or not placed?
No. I refused to be placed in handcuffs because I wasn't doing anything wrong. I hadn't violated any crimes. They had no probable cause. They had no reasonable articulable suspicion. There was no reason for
Okay.
the stop.
Did you identify yourself, or did you refuse to identify yourself?
No, I already told him that I wasn't going to identify because the last time we were talking about it, there was case law stating that that was pretty much an illegal stop. It was a pointless stop.
So and again, I'm not there. I don't know whether.
No,
you're
I
in
understand.
seatbelt or
I
not.
understand.
So-
No, I completely get it.
So when somebody's pulled over for what you may or may not believe is reasonable suspicion or probable cause, right? Let's say that he believes you're not, and he pulls you over. You're required in that time to identify yourself.
If I've broken a law, yes.
Well, he's alleging that you did. You're alleging that you didn't.
Correct.
And the place to sort that out isn't necessarily on the side of the road.
No,
what
it's in the
courts are for.
courtroom, yes.
Exactly. That's what the courts are for.
Absolutely.
So, so you said you have a video of the interaction, and you have other documentation, or what?
Correct,
just
have
different statutes that you want to?
I have statutes, I've got case law, and I've also got what's supposed to be the policing policy. I don't know what your guys' policies are or what your training policies are, or do you guys even utilize body cams here?
Our cars have cameras, but we do not have body cameras.
Okay, doesn't that violate the Police Accountability Act?
No, they're not required. Our department's
What
in the
about-
process of getting them, but it's not. We don't have them. Our Stockton office has them, and our Oakland office has them.
Right.
No other CHP office has body cams currently.
Okay,
Those will be coming in roughly a year or so.
okay. I can't state the law for that, but there was something just passed in 2020 where that was a requirement, was to be able for the transparency and police
Yeah, there's been
accountability.
different accountability groups and studies and stuff done, and recommendations have come out of that. I'm not up to speed enough to know what's a recommendation and what's a law, but I know that our department isn't violating any laws presently by not having body cams in every office.
Okay, that part's understandable. So I have another question
Yeah.
regarding training.
Okay.
How often do your officers have to learn about not only statutes, but constitutional law, case law, stuff like that? How
Yeah.
often are they trained on what our rights are and what's legal and what's not legal?
So we have quarterly training days, and some of those will come up as those things are passed. The big thing that we try to do, that we do at the beginning of every year, is we'll do. It doesn't focus as much on case laws; it does on the new laws that are passed. Right? Typically,
Right.
new laws go into effect every January 1st.
Right, every year, yeah.
There's exceptions, right, of when they go into effect, and so. We have a block of instruction on, these are the new laws, this is what's changed.
Right.
To try to make sure that we're up to speed on that stuff, because as you know, it's a big, thick book.
Absolutely.
And it's changing all the time.
I know exactly what you mean because I'm keeping up to speed with it too. So
Yeah.
I completely understand.
So there's that, and then there's just those, the ongoing, a big case gets passed, and we'll try to say, hey, this case just got passed, and try to have those sometimes informal discussions in a briefing before we go out to shift. Hey, this
Right.
decision. So to answer your question, I don't know that we have like I said, that beginning of the year training is a regular thing that we do, but that tends to focus more on the legislative law changes.
Okay.
They might touch a little bit on case law and stuff like that.
What can we do to change that? Because honestly, I feel like with you guys have taken an oath to the Constitution, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't feel like she knew the officer who was there, the Officer Fletcher.
Okay.
I don't feel like she knew what she was talking about. Each
Okay.
time that I asked her a question, she couldn't answer the question.
Okay.
I asked a question about what she was specifically trying to use against me, and she couldn't even state the statutes or any of the information. I was
Just out
kind
of
of,
curiosity, were you initially refusing to sign the ticket?
oh no,
Okay.
no. It was never like that.
Okay.
I even spoke with them and I said that this wasn't a correct, a lawful stop, that what had happened and what transpired there was not up to, policy and wasn't necessarily the way that it should have been handled.
Okay.
And for me to mention that I didn't feel like I had to ID because I had case law that would back up what I was trying to say.
Do you have the video that you're talking about?
I do,
No,
but
I was going to say, I know you have it. Is that something you can share or email in any way?
absolutely. If you can give me your business card, and please make sure that your badge number is on there as well. And I'll go ahead and get that over to you as soon as I get a chance. I can share the link with you. That's not a problem. It's already been
it's probably a
uploaded.
pretty big
so.
file, so a link, I'm sure, rather than attaching an actual video.
Right, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I can go ahead and do that for you. That would be easy
Do you
enough.
have a contact number that I can get back in touch with you at, or?
Right at the moment, I would prefer to stay anonymous just for the moment being, due to everything that's going on.
Okay.
And I am working on a 42-1983 due to what happened that day.
Okay.
That's also why I came in to get the complaint forms. I needed 2 of them, one for each officer, unless I can fill out one complaint form for both officers. That would be
So you'd like a complaint form as well?
absolutely
Okay.
for both.
Take me 5 minutes to grab those. I'll see if we need 1 or 2. I'll give you 2 even, just that
Okay.
way. And then.
And then your card if you
Yeah.
have one.
All right.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Lieutenant. All right, so I spoke with the lieutenant. He's going to try to set something up where I can share the video with him. He's also going to set me up with the complaint forms. He seems to be pretty understanding. I'm hoping that this turns out to be a positive. I'm not trying to cause any extra disturbances. My whole thing is trying to make sure that our rights are not being violated and that the laws are understood by the officers who are supposed to be upholding them, including the Constitution. So when you take an oath to the Constitution, you're supposed to make sure that you know what it is that you're holding an oath for. So let's just see how far they can go with this one, okay? All right. Seems like they have a pretty nice little office here. I've actually done work in this building. The lieutenant that I was just talking to, I did some work in his office and painted it. Had to patch a broken pipe that was in the wall. And that's what I normally do for work.
So here's the complaint form. It's 2 pages.
Okay.
Basic information at the top, a place to sign, and then a place to summarize your allegations.
Okay.
And you can put more than one officer on this one form.
Okay.
So you can list both of them on just this one.
Okay, in the statement then that I would just separate them out and
Yeah, exactly. You could
State
say,
names
a
of who
paragraph
did
about
what.
this interaction, or a paragraph about.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you have the. So in this case, like Banks, his name will go up here because that's the first person it sounds like you dealt with.
Right.
And then it says additional employees, and you can put Fletcher down there.
Okay. Okay,
So there
perfect.
is that form right there.
And where on this would I add their badge numbers? Would I just put that with their names?
Yeah, exactly. If you look at it, it says right there, name and identification number.
Oh, okay, I see
Yeah.
that now.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
And then here's my card. I wrote my ID number on there, and my email address is in the bottom right corner down there.
Perfect. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thank
All right,
you.
man.
You've been really helpful. So,
All right.
this was a good interaction. I appreciate the time. You may not remember me, but you have this office here, right? The one in the
so I've
corner?
only been. I heard you did work in here.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
that was before I got here. I've
Oh,
only been
okay.
here since
Okay.
January.
I gotcha.
So
okay.
You may have dealt with the other commander who's no longer here. So.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks,
All right.
bud. You have a
Have a
good
good
day.
weekend.
All right. Take care.